Well, day 2 of Browns training camp out here at the Greenbrier in West Virginia. And Mary Kay, some of the biggest news of today actually came after practice and interviews concluded. We had a chance to very briefly see a glimpse of Nick Chubb's on-field rehab.
Yeah, it was really remarkable. As we were walking back from the interviews, you see Nick Chubb running full speed sprints. It was absolutely remarkable. He was running with Nyheim Hines, both of those guys coming off of torn ACL surgeries. But to see Nick coming off of his second major knee reconstruction of his career, running like that and cutting like that through the cones, it was absolutely unbelievable. It gave me the feeling that maybe there is a chance he can play in the opener. You never know. You can never bet against Nick Chubb, but another big takeaway from that is the fact that Jimmy Haslam was sitting there in a chair watching the whole thing and looking very pleased.
Well, we know bookkeeping-wise, as you wrote earlier this week, it would be possible for him to appear in week 1 since he's on that active PUP list right now with a handful of other guys. But yeah, I mean, I came away from watching that, couldn't believe how he was running, couldn't believe how he was cutting. I thought Nick Chubb looked like Nick Chubb, and it really was a sight to see, knowing how gruesome that injury was less than a year ago. But also on the offensive side of the ball, we did get a chance to hear from Deshaun Watson today, who talked a lot about the play calling, knew obviously coming here that Kevin Stefanski was going to be in his ear calling the plays this year.
Yeah, he seems very pleased about that. Kevin Stefanski is a major reason Deshaun Watson wanted to come here in the first place. And even though he's developed a very close relationship with new offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey already, he sees these guys kind of as a team together running the offense and being all on the same page. So I know he's very, very excited about that. And, I just think he's going to flourish in this scheme because it will maximize his skill set.
And another key point of his interview, I thought, he seemed very focused on talking about blocking out the noise, no matter where it's coming from, no matter if it's quarterback rankings coming from the outside. He was very, very adamant about that today.
He was. He's putting a chip on his shoulder. It seems like he's getting his game face on for the season and doing sort of a me against the world, blocking out the BS, he said. He dropped another expletive during his press conference as well. So he had an edge to him today, and maybe that's just his way of getting ready for the season, or I don't know what it is. He's had 2 lost seasons. He hasn't had a full season since 2020, and I think he's just trying to put his armor on and get ready to go.
And the big defensive guy we heard from today was Myles Garrett, our first chance to talk to him since the spring. And Mary Kay, I thought it was really interesting when he talked about having a bullseye on his back after winning the Defensive Player of the Year award last year.
Yeah, he knows that somehow, some way, they're going to find new ways to try to shut him down. They've double-teamed him. They've triple-teamed him. They stay up late at night, burning the midnight oil, trying to figure out how to solve the Myles Garrett problem. But he said this year he really hopes that one of the outcomes of that is that so many other guys, so many of the other dogs get to eat, that it should free up Z and Obo and some of the other guys to make their plays, and he hopes that happens.
Yeah, of course, last year the Browns didn't have any other edge rushers pushing that double-digit sack mark, but I think right now it's a wide belief across this team they should have multiple guys aiming for double-digit sacks on that D-line. And also thought he was very adamant about not wanting to lose in week 1 to his hometown Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. He is so excited. That's home. He grew up nearby, and he is really ready for that game. It's at Cleveland Browns Stadium against Dak Prescott. You've got Micah Parsons coming in, who is sort of an equal to Myles in some ways, and he's going to be fired up for that opener.
All right, well, we got carts, lawnmowers going behind us, so I think that's our cue to wrap up here from day 2 at the Greenbrier. We'll be back on Saturday with coverage from day 3. You can check out all of our coverage from Browns training camp and more over at cleveland.com/Browns.